Happy Tuesday. It's a Tickle Tuesday, Shane.
Yeah. See?
Guys.
You think I can't handle a tickle? He was like, you're going to be uncomfortable with the way I start the show. I'm like, why don't you just tickle me then?
This is all Jacob's fault. Jacob said to do it. I'm Anthony Totri. Don't tickle me, bro.
That's crazy.
I'm very ticklish.
I'd
like it on record. I'd like it on record. I never once said to do that.
I don't think he did.
This is Shane Dieffenbach, also known as Big Pokey.
This is the liar.
No.
Yes, you just lied.
No, he said it was Tickle Tuesday.
He said twinkle, not
It's
tickle.
Twinkle Tuesday. It's also Tampering Tuesday. Tamper with him, Shane.
No, don't tamper with me. That's Jacob. That's Jacob Franklin in the back, guys.
DJ Jacob Franklin. He has a kid.
Do us a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And leave a 5-star review if you're listening on audio. Let us know what you like about this podcast. And, if you don't like to be tickled, also leave us a 5-star review, because I think that is across the board a general consensus. So I would like to start off and apologize for tickling you, Shane.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
What?
I'm like, I'm doctor. Don't tickle me or you're going to get hurt. And I'm not going to try to hurt you, but I flail hard. Whoa. Elbow to the face.
No, thank you. No, thank you. We got Donald in the chat. Sup, nerds?
Wow.
Just going to skip live today and watch yesterday, but you started late. Yeah, we actually blame Jacob on that. So Donald's here. So here I am.
I was ready on time. These two hooligans definitely didn't tweet.
I don't know about hooligans.
No, you're hooligans.
Okay.
How you doing, Jacob?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
We're all good. You know who's not good? You know who's not good?
I don't know. Who?
Anybody who decides that Frankie Collins is not a top 15 player in this conference. Because I disagree. We got Chris in here. Look, we're going to be talking all things ASU hoops for today's show. And then at the tail end, we got some interesting NIL stuff to discuss, just in terms of a former legendary coach discussing NIL. So we'll get into all of that, but I want to start with Frankie Collins. Frankie Collins obviously has been, I would say, the lone bright spot for Arizona State this season. He was announced he made the all-defensive team, in addition to receiving honorable mention, all-conference honors for the Pac-12. So Frankie Collins didn't make first team, didn't make second team. So quite literally not considered a top 15 player in this conference, but he managed to make that all-defensive team. Frankie Collins with an interesting tweet, though, kind of in relation to the whole situation. This is what Collins had to say about it. Goes to show why winning is so important. That's why personal accolades don't matter if you don't win. Shane, he's got a point. You got to win if you want to be considered a top-level talent. However, you and I had kind of had a discussion a little bit today, just in terms of, I think Collins deserved to at least make the second team, because I would say there are some quote-unquote teams in the all-conference first team or second team that were just as bad, if not worse, than Arizona State, yet they have players for those honors.
Yeah, I don't think that it's all predicated on winning and losing. I mean, the reality of it is this is a conference that's really deep in terms of top talent, top-end talent, and eyes aren't always on ASU. And if you're not scoring 18, 19, 20 points a game, there's people aren't really what Frankie did is awesome, but it's not sexy because he didn't score points. And I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve it. I'm saying that's probably why he wasn't picked. It's just not. But yes, 100%. If ASU is 20-9, he's making the first team. Or the second team, probably.
If you had a vote, and I know it's kind of putting you on the spot, would you put him on first or second team?
Probably not for this year, just because of the ups and downs. And there were some really good newcomers. The only person that really surprises me on this, that's a guard that he could, Do they go by forwards and guards, or do they just go by?
I think they just go by players.
Okay. Well, then Dante, I don't think played enough games.
He also made all defensive.
You mean
teams.
first? Yeah, first team is crazy. For somebody who didn't play,
Yeah. But he's really good. I mean, there's a lot of top end talent. Like, it's hard to like KJ Simpson was arguably the best player in this conference as a guard. Miles Rice was an unbelievable. Did you know he had cancer?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was unbelievable this year. We know about Caleb Love and Jalen Tyson. Those are the first team guards. Like I think that's without question.
Yeah.
Maybe Miles Rice goes down to second team, but then you have to move Boogie Ellis up, Pelle Larson up, Cousinard up. Like, I don't know, dude. Those are 7 guards that, like, is he better than those 7 guards? I don't know. I don't think so. Not this year. I think he has a potential to be, but he just, again, like, this team wasn't good enough for him to showcase all of his talents. Like, he didn't, as a starting point guard for a Division I team, he didn't crack 4 assists, which is a good mark to crack. He only averaged, 12, 13 points a game. 13
points a game.
Not the best shooting splits, but he was one of the best defenders in the country.
In the country.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a important note in and of itself. Obviously, again,
I agree with what he's saying, though. Like, if this team wins 20 games, he's making one of the teams, 100%.
I don't even think they probably need to win 20 games to be in that conversation. I think if you're floating around like a 17, 18 win mark, just 3 or 4 more games, you're competitive across the stretch, then I think you're probably talking about Frankie Collins at least being in the second team. Now, he did get honorable mention, so received at least 3 votes. Nobody else on Arizona State's roster with an honorable mention or really any sort of honor, which is understandable. Again, I guess you could make the argument for a Jose Perez. I don't think any Sun Devil fan is going to be losing any sleep over not seeing Jose Perez on any of these lists. But in reality, like, it's tough because I think if you are an Arizona State fan, again, the one bright spot of this season was Frankie Collins breaking the single season steal record, a record that had held for 40 years. And he led the Pac-12 in steals. I think the next closest person
by a wide margin
was 18 steals behind. Again, I know Arizona State was 14 and 17 overall this season in regular season play, but this is a guy that from my perspective at least earned second team. I'm not going to lose any sleep over nobody else being on the mentions or the list, whatever.
Yeah, if you can put as many guards as you want, I mean, get Reynaud off this list. He's just tall. That's all he is. He's just tall. I mean, he was a lot better this year, but he's just tall.
Yeah,
like Frankie's a better player than him. I think Frankie is 100% sitting in the top 15.
If you're going just based off of positionless players,
position and skill, positionless and skill, yeah. But I understand it.
Yeah, I mean, again, he didn't rank highly in really anything. He was consistent, though.
As JJ says, the eye test. If you just watch him play, but nobody's watching ASU play basketball right now.
Yeah, but how many people are watching Cal? How many people are watching Stanford?
But what did I say at the start of this? What was my qualifier? He's not. If you're scoring 19 points a game, you can't not put them on the list. Yeah. Jalen Tyson averaging well over 19 points a game and good shooting splits. I know he's on a bad Cal team, and I know nobody watches Cal, but 19 points a game in college is 19 points a game in college. That was my qualifier at the start of this.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Again, I think if you are watching Arizona State, and I get there's not a whole lot of people doing it, again, Frankie Collins, and you get it. If you watched Arizona State basketball, you understand what Frankie Collins did on the court, but I think almost a bigger testament to how good of a player he is watching Arizona State play basketball while Frankie Collins is on the bench, right? And seeing what happens to this Sun Devil team and Bobby Hurley squad when Frankie Collins isn't in the rotation. He is taking a break, which he doesn't do often. And I think when you get to the Pac-12 tournament, again, you could talk about, now he's got a chip on his shoulder, whatever. I still don't think this team is good enough to really get past day one. You never know in tournament style play. But I think, again, this is going to be not a Frankie Collins coming out party, but more so for everybody in the Pac-12 that didn't watch an Arizona State basketball game this season, that saw all the issues, that saw the Jose Perez stuff, Frankie Collins is the type of player to go out there and I feel have a star-studded game, whether that be 20 points. We know he's capable of that. Whether that be a 6-steal game. He did that like 3 times this season. He can crash the glass. Multiple games where he had 7, 8 boards. He has had games where he has 6, 7 assists per game. Like, he can do all of these things.
Yeah.
He can be the guy to lead your team with 20 points. He can be the guy to crash the glass. It's just a matter of like consistency, I feel like. And it sucks that Arizona State wasn't good enough to really ultimately push Frankie Collins a little bit more in the limelight of this whole situation. But that's really, I guess, where it is right now. For me, I do think that he was robbed of at least second team. I think he's a top 15 player in this conference. I get the argument behind Arizona State didn't win enough games, whatever, but I don't know necessarily if you should punish a single player based off of, just that, because Arizona State wasn't necessarily, way worse than everybody else in this conference. I would get it if it was like an 8, 9, 10 win team, but how many teams in the Pac-12 are at 13, 14 wins?
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about literally 5 or 6 teams that are all within a game of each other, and those teams have players on those lists. I get your qualifier here is, you got to be scoring 18 to 20 points.
You don't have to be.
It helps though when you're, I guess, on a worse team, on a team that does win 13, 14 games.
What guard are you taking off though? That's my question.
Let me pull up the list real quick. What guard am I taking off of the All Pac-12 team?
Any of them, yeah.
I mean, realistically, probably Larson. Again, I haven't. Let's see.
Well, Pelle Larson is really good defensively also, and he has better numbers rebounding and I think assist numbers and he's on obviously a better team. They're both scoring 13 points a game. Larson is a really good defender and 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, almost 4 assists, shooting 53% from the field. Like, I don't think you can say that. Like, if I'm talking just objectively, I fucking hate Pelle Larson. I hate Pelle Larson.
What about, and I'm going to totally mispronounce this guy. Do you know how to pronounce his name?
Couisnard?
Yeah. Jermaine Couisnard. Averaged 2 more points than Frankie, less steals, less assists, same amount of rebounds, shot worse from the field, and shot 3% better from 3.
I could see that. Yeah.
Now, he has had games this season where he
Couisnard's had some really big moments.
Scored almost 40 against Arizona.
Yeah.
Like, there are certainly
his highs are way higher.
Yeah, his highs are way higher.
And Oregon's been really impressive down the stretch. And that's recency bias, though, for sure.
No, that's valid. That absolutely is valid. What?
I'm just looking at his stats.
Geez, I didn't really 6'4", 215. He's a unit. Absolute unit. Down in the chat, Shane and Totri, you guys are looking phenomenal today. Specifically Shane, though. Love this look.
Oh, Collins had 4.5, excuse me.
Boards a game, yeah.
He is a rebound machine. Thank you, Donald. I appreciate it. Yeah, no hat. It takes a lot of courage. My hair has to be falling just right in the morning. Look at my shirt. This is one of my favorite shirts I have, and I have a lot of fun shirts.
He does have a lot of fun shirts. What is it? Oh, wow, the back is dinosaurs.
For all those listening on audio, it's a Jurassic Park Dino Fight Night shirt.
I respect that.
Between the Allosaurus and the T-Rex.
Yeah. Clint in the chat bringing up another point. Pope was hosed, making honorable mention for carrying the worst team. Yeah. Let's see.
Wasn't he scoring a ton of points?
Yeah. He had a ridiculous season when he played.
17-6, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good player. He's a very good player.
Shot 45%.
Dude, remember when Rataj just became Klay Thompson last year when they played Oregon State? Clay, you remember that.
I mean, look.
Rataj's game against ASU, how many points did he have in that?
Talk about recency bias. Look what Jordan Pope has done. I mean, excluding the Colorado game where he only had 10 points. Before that, 25 points, 22, 30, 23. Like, that's in a 4-game stretch where he's scoring like a combined over 100 points. He's just, But again, Oregon State was a really, really bad basketball team this season, along with Arizona State. It's true.
I'm just kidding.
It's true. It is what it is at this point, right? And again, I think now, so when you're talking about Arizona State, like Frankie Collins, you want to bring that up, but it sucks that people are still talking about Jose Perez and everything going on with that situation. We do have some interesting sound from Frankie Collins. He was asked about the Jose Perez situation, if he knew about it, like if it was a surprise. This is what Frankie Collins had to say about Jose Perez up and quitting the team.
Reaction is just, you got to try and win some games going into this tournament, and we play with the guys that are here.
Was it a surprise to you guys?
Yeah.
So you hadn't talked to him before at all about it, or he hadn't mentioned it?
How does that make you feel?
The fact that he had to think about it for a second kind of tells you everything.
Yeah.
Was that a surprise at all? Yeah.
I feel like that right there was him not wanting to throw Jose under
For
the bus
sure.
totally.
For sure.
But it's the truth. That's even more shitty. That's even more shitty in the whole situation. Because I feel like if you're Jose Perez, you make the decision that you're going to make a bag in the Dominican Republic, whatever. I
want to make a bag in the Dominican Republic.
I feel like you at least give your teammates a courtesy of being like, hey, this is my situation. And I guess they don't owe him anything, whatever, but still, man, that's shitty. It sucks.
I don't really want to touch on the how shitty it is anymore. But no, that tells you everything you need to know, though. It's just even before the last week, I feel like they could probably tell that this was. And look, man, he's got a past, got a track record for moving schools.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
I had an interesting conversation with my dad about this last night, actually.
About Jose Perez?
Yeah, because he was like, I don't know, it's obviously, I was like, this has never happened before. Don't try to excuse it. And he's like, yeah, but it could be the new normal because of the portal now. And he brought up how everyone's calling college players mercenaries because it kind of is, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna get I think this is gonna be such an anomaly. I don't think you're gonna see players up and leave for overseas or over Gulf teams. As Loader put it, during the season. I don't think that's gonna happen just because of the portal and because of the no loyalty thing. What do you think?
It's again, this is such a unique situation to have a player leave at this time.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think it's not going to be unique?
I think it is going to. No, I don't think this is going to be a trend by any means. Again, I think there have always been, and you always see these opportunities, right? How many kids finish college and they don't go to the league and they immediately go overseas. There is something about finishing a college season that's, people want to do that. I think for the reason that this is a unique situation is because obviously he left when he did, but Jose's an older player. Jose's 25 years old. The majority of these kids, right, 22, 20, 21, whatever, that are playing college basketball, enjoy college basketball. They want to be a part of conference tournaments. They want to be in the postseason. They want to finish the season with their teammates. Jose Perez has been on how many teams across the country? 5, right? I think it makes more sense why Jose would do it. But if you're telling me, hey, a Jemiah Neal left midseason to go play overseas, that would be a bigger surprise for me.
Yeah, I think the age thing is a good point. You're not going to see a lot of 25-year-olds in 3 years playing college basketball.
No, and again, we're still in the cycle of you still have COVID years.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's weird. It is what it is.
But my dad didn't bring up this point about that SB just said. He obviously played right away, so maybe if he said, I'll wait, they would have found somebody else. Yeah, but I also have a hard time believing that the Dominican whatever league was the number one choice for him. Maybe it was, but I just have a hard time thinking that was I can't miss this opportunity. But again, as we said yesterday, there's qualifiers to everything. Who knows? He might have needed the money bad.
Now, you might have needed the money bad. If ASU is getting a first-round bye in the Pac-12 tournament, are we talking about Jose Perez leaving for the Dominican Republic?
Who knows?
Who knows? I don't think so.
I guess we'll never know.
I guess we will never know. But something that we do know is that Desert Financial is the official retail banking partner of Arizona State University, and they're not going to up and leave you for the Dominican Republic, guys, because they've been doing it here for more than 84 years. Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. The Desert Financial team are financial experts. They're committed to their members and the community, offering financial solutions tailored to helping real people achieve their financial goals and dreams. Now is the time to show your ASU team spirit. Open a free checking account online and get $200 plus your choice of 3 Arizona State University Visa debit cards. Just go to desertfinancial.com/ASU to get started.
And go to BetMGM's sportsbook app on iOS or Android because it is the best sportsbook app you can use right now. It's just a bunch of fun things to get on there. We got NFL free agency tampering going on. There's going to be a lot of new look teams next year, so that means there's going to be a lot of new look odds, whether that be game-by-game markets or futures. Russell Wilson, did you see the odds shift after they signed him? The Steelers signed him?
All, right?
They didn't move.
What about after Patrick McQueen? Patrick Queen? Yeah.
Patrick McQueen.
Patrick McQueen goes crazy.
Guys,
Patrick Queen.
be Patrick McQueen and download the BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android. Sign up, deposit at least $5 into your newly created account. Place a wager at $5 at standard odds price, and once you place that bet, you get 150 bones, regardless of the outcome of your wager. Once again, sign up for BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application for at least $5. You'll receive $150 in additional winnings instantly, regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details, and now listen to Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-UP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117. For confidential help, Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Well,
let's
continue talking Arizona.
Let's continue talking.
Let's talk about the coach.
Let's talk about the coach.
Okay. Bobby Hurley. He was on the radio this morning talking about ASU NIL. He believes that ASU is
look at you.
There it is. Has more NIL resources for basketball now than last offseason, and that he knows he has to prioritize NIL and fundraising. First up, sounds like Hurley believes that he is going to be back next season, which, in all honesty, I think he would expect. He's under contract, got his extension last offseason, regardless of the season.
But no, I thought he wanted to go to. I thought he wanted to leave.
Oh my gosh!
I thought he wanted to go to DePaul.
He's going to DePaul. He's going to DePaul. No. Mm-mm. And also, I've said it before, if Arizona State moves on from Bobby Hurley, it's not going to be Muss. Muss Bus is not coming to Arizona State. It's not happening. It'd be fun. It's not happening. I'm telling you right now, it's not happening. But Bobby Hurley, again, the NIL resources.
Bobby.
I can tell you right now, without getting into specifics, that yes, the resources for NIL have certainly improved, specifically for basketball. Some of their players they're compensated generously. But at the end of the day, it still feels like there is miles to go for Arizona State to actually be competitive in the Big 12. Like, I just don't know how long it's going to take for Arizona State to actually get to that point, if they're ever going to be competitive in basketball in the Big 12.
Yeah. What did I say yesterday? MFers? Like, this dude, and I know it sounds like a broken record. Like, I know it sounds, shit, I've been beating the Bobby drum since I started on the show 2.5 years ago. I have a graphic. I'm going to find that graphic for you where I'm defending Bobby with a sword. I've been defending him because I know what the highs can look like, and it hasn't been this low. This is the lowest point of ASU basketball in so long. This is probably the lowest point of his tenure, I would say.
Yeah,
just
I would say so. I mean, with everything, yes.
But the last 2 years, I know the Dayton deniers are going to be up in arms about this. They made the tournament.
I am a Dayton denier.
They made the tournament the last 2 years.
They did.
So, like, that is your goal, and now I know your goal is to move on from the tournament. But now, when you finally see the light at the end of the tunnel with NIL and being able to retain players, your best player, Frankie Collins, is basically saying, we're fine. We'll be back next year on social media already. Yeah. Like, that doesn't happen with ASU. DJ Horn wasn't doing that. Like, no one was doing that the last 3-4 years. I mean, we'll see. Like, I could be eating my words. The mass exodus of transfers, the influx could happen again. Like, you could see an announcement graphic after announcement graphic, but I really genuinely think they're keeping their core this year. And as Shortbus says, the class he has coming in is proof of those resources. He has a very good recruiting class coming in next year. There's a really good. And they had 2 really good recruits, 4-stars, came in this year. And I know they haven't made a big impact, but they're raw talents. Braylon Green can shoot the piss out of the ball. And we know what he looks like when he's hot. Akeel Watson has unbelievable raw size for a freshman. And if they can retain those 2 guys, and I know you had a guy like Perez, Austin Nunez. Wow.
Yeah. Austin Perez.
He's already gone. I
wonder what he did for Ole Miss this season.
No, I don't think a lot. I would have probably heard about him. I know you couldn't keep him, but I genuinely think they're going to be able to keep their core pieces. What did he do? 3 points a game?
Less than that. That's 3 points a game against Texas A&M. He averaged 0.7 points a game.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He was so bad.
Yeah.
No, look, this offseason is going to be, I mean, one of the most unique, I think, in recent memory.
But you still want him gone?
I just think
you still want him gone?
I still think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I still think so. Again, I just feel like it's...
You're entitled to your opinion.
You were almost going to say your wrong opinion.
No, I wasn't.
I just...
That's what Sean says.
Again, for me, I feel like at this point, you've seen the highs and you've seen the lows, and I feel like the highs, you're not going to get any higher than what Arizona State has already been. In my mind, going to the Big 12 with the resources that you do have, you aren't going to be competitive against a Kansas, against an Arizona, against a Houston, against a Baylor, against a Texas Tech. Like, there are so many great basketball programs in the Big 12.
Wait, you're never gonna reach the high. What do you mean?
I think the highs that we've seen from Bobby Hurley.
Oh, from Bobby
and this team.
I thought you were just talking about ASU basketball as a
program.
No.
From Bobby Hurley, what do you consistently get? Yes, you get the tournament, but again, Selection Sunday comes around, you're biting your nails, wondering if you're gonna actually make it. And when you make it, what is it? It's always first four. It's always Dayton. Like, I think ASU fans deserve better than that. They should be shooting for better than that.
They 100% do, but...
And I'm not sitting here saying that they can necessarily go get a coach that is going to immediately do that better.
They also deserve to have players come back. Like, then they haven't been able to have that. So it ebbs and flows both ways. I understand. And as I said, like, this is the last year for me. Like, it needs,
so you're giving him one more.
Yeah.
Okay. First year in the Big 12. Now, do you think, again, we've already touched on it a little bit in terms of the core. Frankie tweeted literally an hour ago, said, get better next season, work. Also said, make this run, get into the tourney. Let's prove them wrong, fellas. Do you think Frankie Collins returns next season to Arizona State? Yeah. Again, he put his name in the draft last season, got evaluated, ended up coming back. I know you found it.
Yeah.
Frankie, along with who else do you think potentially returns to Arizona State?
I think Sean Phillips comes back. I think Adam Miller comes back. I think both the freshmen come back. And I think that's your core.
Ace.
And Jemiah.
Ace, Jemiah, Frankie,
Sean, Braylon, Akil.
So 6. You think 6 players come back?
I think those are your 6 most important. Am I wrong?
What about Zoe?
Zoe can't. Right?
I don't know if he can. I don't want him to.
I don't think. Stop it.
They should. You know that meme of Jamal Adams where they change his key card?
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. He needs to enter the facility and be like, hey, I can't get in. Like, I can't, dude. I can't take another season of Alonzo Gaffney playing basketball.
All right, well, that's not what we're talking about. Are those 6?
I don't think all 6 return. I think.
Who do you think leaves?
I would be. I don't want to say I would be shocked, but I think you return Frankie. I think you return Ace, and you probably return Braylon Green.
You don't think Sean Phillips comes back?
I don't think Sean Phillips.
What is the market for Sean Phillips?
I don't know what the market is, but what was the market for Warren Washington last season?
Well, Warren Washington scored. Warren Washington was a productive player. Warren Washington got money.
I mean, there's always going to be a market for a 7-footer. Always. That's again just my 2 cents. We saw 3 players return from last year's team.
That's what I'm saying, though. That you need more players to come back.
You do. But I'm not.
And they have money to do that.
I'm not saying that they're not going to. I'm just saying I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I don't think these guys want to play here anymore. Those ones specifically. I think Ace is coming back. I think Frankie's coming back.
Who do you think doesn't want to play here anymore?
I don't think Sean Phillips wants to be here anymore.
Okay. Other than that, you don't think Akil wants to be here anymore?
No, I don't think Akil. I mean, Akil didn't play this season, and these guys don't want to sit. These guys don't want to sit.
Why would Braylon come back and Akil not come back?
Because guards, Bobby values guards, and he sees that. What big man has been successful under Bobby Hurley?
Celebonge.
Come on. What do you think, Jacob? You've watched ASU hoops this season.
Romello White was relatively successful.
Romello White was also 6'8".
Yeah, but he was a baller.
Yeah, he was your starting center.
And he played big.
Yeah,
he did play big.
I loved Romello.
I was talking more so though, like
he also transferred.
I was talking more like, who do you think doesn't come back and who do you think comes back?
I think Frankie probably comes back, but I would not bet money on any other person.
Really?
Yeah.
On anybody else?
I'm not saying that they're going to leave. I'm just saying I don't feel comfortable saying that they're going to stay.
I mean, that's fair.
What happened to the game I love? when you could develop a freshman
After
after sitting on the bench for a year.
it changed.
Well, I was gonna say
I know,
it does. I was
I'm
gonna say
kidding.
it definitely doesn't help when the freshmen they just didn't really get minutes ever.
Well, yeah, I mean, they did. Braylon Green, I thought
This team was
gonna have
bad.
a breakout at the start of the year.
This
Yeah,
team was bad.
They were bad.
and you need to give guys like that a chance if the team is bad. That was my one. I really disliked the way that they used Gil Watson and Braylon Green.
You mean their lack of use in totally?
Correct.
Looking up Duke Brennan's numbers at GCU.
Why are you doing
Not
that?
great, actually.
No, 7 points, 6 boards. He didn't do a whole lot.
Remember when we
at
thought Duke
GCU.
was our friend?
Yeah. Just a TikToker.
Big golden retriever
Just
energy.
a TikToker, man. 6'10", 250. Crazy. Look, if you're going to be watching the Pac-12 tournament and you're watching Arizona State late Wednesday evening, can I make a recommendation? Take some OGs, guys. They've launched 2 new products made with live rosin and RSO, the OGs Naturals and the big OGs. OGs Naturals, they're vegan gummies made with live rosin, available in a sweet clementine flavor. Guys, if maybe that's not your favorite flavor, they've got something for everybody over at OGs. I'm currently on the Happy Balance gummies. They're my absolute favorite, best tasting ones, in my personal opinion, and the effect just as good, if not better, than the taste. To learn more about OG's gummies and where you can find them, head on over to ogsbrands.com. You do got to be 21 plus to enjoy.
Can you start the second ad for a second?
Can I start the second ad?
Yeah, just for a
you?
second.
Sure. Defend Bobby Hurley. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm getting distracted by the graphic that you got here. It's fun. It's fun.
Why do you do that?
What? Just reading. I'm allowed to read. Okay?
In his fairness, you did say you were going to find it earlier in the show.
Yeah, I know, but I asked him to start reading the second ad and they just derailed it.
I didn't derail it.
Guys,
Come on.
I'm gonna derail Totri later.
Whoa. Whoa, dude.
And on my way to, speaking of derailing, this ad read is, let me just, okay, we restarted. The Arizona Lottery. Speaking of rails, they got mine carts in mines, and there's a lot of old mines in Arizona and in the hills. There's gold in them hills in the Superstition Mountains. Guys, the Arizona Lottery is introducing new ticket and a new ticket promotion called Arizona Adventure, where you can't adventure to a mine. Don't go in a mine if you see an abandoned mine. They're really dangerous. But you can go to Monument Valley, Picacho Peak, and Camelback Mountain because they're the 3 iconic landscapes that are featured on the Arizona Lottery Adventure tickets. You can also check in at the geolocated adventures at 10 different destinations across the state from Flagstaff to Yuma. The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It's also about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes.
Can't win if you don't play. Just saying. The Arizona Lottery. Look, something that you had brought up earlier, right, in passing as a joke, just in terms of what happened to the game I love, what happened to, developing players. It's funny enough because legendary former Alabama football coach, he had some interesting things to say about NIL. So this is what was said earlier from Nick Saban on NIL. All the things that I believed in for all these years, 50 years of coaching, no longer exist in college athletics. You think that's true? No longer exist?
I think he's being a little bit dramatic by saying all the things that he believed in. I think he believed in scoring points and playing good defense. He's being dramatic.
Is he?
Get off my lawn, Nick Saban.
Is he being dramatic?
Yeah, he's being a little bit dramatic. But I mean, what he's saying is true. The whole landscape has changed 100%. He definitely retired early because of NIL.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
A lot of things changed.
Because of everything that you have to do.
But we've had this conversation before, Anthony. Most of the changes for the good. They went a little too far, and so now they need to recoup it a little bit. But
I just don't know how far back you can go. I don't know if you're able to actually
I know.
Go
It's
back.
going to be tough. They made a mistake, but I think this side is better than the other side, where players weren't allowed to get anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. But again, at the end of the day, it really is. I think in terms of player development specifically, I think you are starting to see a trend in, kids want to go where they're going to play and kids want to go where they're going to get paid, as opposed to sitting on the bench, sitting on the sidelines, and not necessarily earning your spot, but going through the growing pains of learning how to be a college football player or a college basketball player. Like nowadays, specifically, you look at ASU hoops, for example, right? And we are having to talk about, okay, 3 of 14 players were like, okay, like maybe they'll come back.
Yeah.
Like that's where you're at versus like years and years ago where you could go into the offseason and you'd be like, you know what, I'm already excited for next year. Not just because I know who's going to be on the team, but B, because you can already start to see like, hey, that maybe this guy can develop. Maybe this guy can turn into whatever. It's what we saw with Jemiah Neal, right? Yeah. That's the reason there's been so much excitement around him.
He was, even when he had braces. We saw him when he had braces.
Yeah. And that's part of like the whole love, I feel like, for college sports.
For sure. What happened in the game I love. No, I completely agree. I think the one thing that you can do is you need to get a hold on transfers. Like you need to put a restriction back on it. Like your second year, you need to be able to, you can't allow 2-time transfers to just immediately play. Like Jose Perez being immediately out of play is crazy.
Yeah.
That needs to happen because he's a 9,000 times transfer. But I mean, we've beat this horse. Beat this dead horse.
We beat this horse?
Yep. We're beating a dead horse. We've been beating it for a long time.
Drop us in the chat. Who helped Saban program the VCR? Oof. Maybe Kalen DeBoer helped him set it up before Saban retired. I don't know. Donald in the chat. The old heads can't handle the truth. House of Heat Sports. Someone needs to get control of the new NIL. It's out of hand now. ASU will never have another all-time great.
I don't think that's true. I think your guys that you can get for $20K and a scratcher, like they'll still
$20K and a scratcher.
They'll still be able to like you never know when a high 4-star is going to turn into a all conference. Like it happens.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that. However, I do agree. I mean, it's out of control. It's nuts.
Clint in the chat, my observation, it's increasingly rare to find players develop staying forward years. If you have 5 high school commits in by their senior year, you're lucky to have 1 that didn't transfer. Yep. I think a great example in college basketball of somebody that's stuck with the program all the way through while there was success, but like was there forever is Jaime Jaquez. And seeing kind of how it translated.
Yeah, Jaime was so old that he was here before NIL though.
But
him
still,
and Tiger Campbell were both here before NIL, so that's all they knew. And UCLA, I know you don't like the little elephant Cronin, but like he does a fantastic job of retaining his players in the past. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Short bus in the chat, a burrito and a bike go a long way.
Dude, they do.
I'd take a burrito and a bike.
Angel, get us more recruits with your Burrito Express.
Angel and Reza, they're killing it. Jacob, do you have anything before we get out of here?
I mean, there's something.
Yeah, there is something.
Yeah.
This is how long I've been doing this. I made this graphic like 3 months into PHNX.
Defend Bobby Hurley.
Yep, that's me.
You're still on this too.
Yeah.
I love that. The pull that's not a pullover, is it? That's just a long sleeve like jacket. That
I just realized his left shoe is missing.
He definitely is missing a foot.
He's missing a foot.
I think in the old graphic I hid it behind me, but I had to change it because at one point he was on the ground. So I had to.
He was on the ground. How'd you get a photo of Bobby Hurley on the ground?
No, I just tilted him to be on the ground. So I
he
had
was
to
like
change.
laying sideways.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Armando Bacot, yeah.
Yeah.
Armando Bacot is definitely an example of that. But again, like, it's gonna be hard. Like, it's gonna be so hard to now retain players. Like Bacot's another guy that was here before. I think he was here right as NIL started, but he also got a burger named after him. Like, that's awesome. And he went to North Carolina. Like those schools aren't the ones we're talking about.
Yeah, blue blood schools.
Like those can retain players all they want. They're gonna be like, you want to leave? How about this?
You know who I really
a brand new car.
You know who I really missed this season?
Who do you really miss this year?
I really miss Devin Cambridge.
I miss Dez.
Bounce man
35, the
Bounce
basketeer.
He only played like a handful of games, right?
Yeah,
he
blew out his knee.
He got really injured.
He blew out his knee like 5 games in. It was very sad.
Yeah, that's really tough.
Basketeer, Devin Cambridge.
Basketeer, short buzz. You could still use that switch Bobby with Dilly and put Dilly on the armor. Oh, Dilly's defending.
Well, no, you could the Dilly armor. You know the Bud Light ads.
Oh yeah.
Defund Bobby Hurley.
Stop it, guys.
Lowtown, no.
Lord.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? Chad, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Definitely tune in to the postgame
You're
show
leaving tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely tune in. Shane's going to be doing the postgame with Eric tomorrow. So hopefully, hey, maybe ASU basketball gets the dub. Maybe they get the dub over Utah. Maybe we see them play against Colorado on Thursday, and they can, get back for the football team that fell a little short. What about you? Do you want to talk about anything else?
No.
No, you're good. Okay, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for today's show. Do us a solid. Hit that like
Who's
button.
producing us tomorrow?
Hit the subscribe
Damon
button. Let's do this for Short Bus here. You want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Jacob, can you give us a little countdown here?
3,
Are we Are we yelling it?
Just do however you want.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Coop. There you go, Short Bus. Cooper Perry, you are hopefully an Arizona State Sun Devil. Guys, if you enjoyed the content, do us a
I
solid.
wasn't very confident.
Hit that like button. I was not going to win.
You are an Arizona State Sun Devil, Cooper Perry.
There you go. Give us a follow. PHNX _Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony _Toes. You can follow DJ Jacob Franklin at Jacob _Franklin 4. Go ahead. What?
No, I was just tipping my hat.
Oh, okay. Well, your eyes got all big.
Well, because you read it, hit his at in the cadence you usually read mine.
Well, I was gonna let you do that. He is a baby.
He is a baby?
He's a child.
DJ Jacob Franklin, he has a kid.
There you go. You can follow Shane at Shane Deef.
Defending Bobby Hurley as always.
Defending, not defunding, right?
Defending.
Okay, guys. We will see you for a post-game show on Wednesday. But in the meantime, go Devils and peace.
Roof.